Back once again. We're joined on the phone now by Greg Lambrecht. Greg is the CEO of Singlepoint Incorporated. Their stock symbol's SING. Greg, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Don.
Well, looking at your press releases this week, the activity continues to Sing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, we're just continuing to acquire more companies. As we know, that's been our strategy, and as we acquire more, we get more inquiries of companies that want to be acquired. So it's really working out, and it's increasing our revenues, and our plan is working to perfection so far.
Well, you're doing everything you set out at the beginning of the year, because I remember back in January, we had an interview on this very program where you said part of your growth strategy for 2017 was acquisition, and you, 4 acquisitions so far this year?
Yeah, that's right. And the most recent one, we put out an LOI that we're acquiring a Denver-based company with close to $1 million in revenues, and we expect to close that in the next week. The other thing I just want to talk about is we're also looking at a rather large funding deal that hopefully I have good news for next week on that front.
Well, you had mentioned a little teaser of that the last time we spoke to you. What are some of the use of proceeds that the company has in mind for that?
Well, the thing is that most of these companies that we're acquiring, we try and use as much stock as we can. But of course, some of them or most of them want some cash. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have ample cash to go for some larger acquisitions with higher revenues. So we're going to have enough cash, and of course we have the stock to close these acquisitions.
Now, of course, you began life in your company as a mobile payments company, and you've developed a system for cannabis dispensaries to accept payments. You want to tell us a little bit about that? Yeah,
so about 2 months ago, we hired what we think are some of the best cryptocurrency programmers in the world. These 2 gentlemen happen to be in Pakistan. So they've been working on a product that we feel we're going to be able to use Bitcoin and cryptocurrency to circumvent the problems at the dispensary. So again, our launch date for that product is still November, and we think that we're on track for that.
Well, that industry is obviously burgeoning. I think we have Election Day coming up in November, and several states have more cannabis legislation on the ballots. So this is just continuing to grow, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and it's great to be a part of it for the last 3 years, and then see more states come on and see more businesses mature. We're currently looking at some dispensaries and other types of business that have been around now for 3 or 4 years and are actually in a position to sell with revenues.
Now, Greg, are you concentrating in any one particular area of the country, or are you basically open to expanding throughout the nation?
Well, a lot of the companies that we are acquiring or funding, we purposely are not touching the plant because that allows us to go to all 50 states. And, I think 29 states either have medical or recreational. So we like to find companies that don't need licenses in that county, in that state, that can go nationwide, for example, an app. The convection machine that can be sold anywhere. So that's one of the reasons why we've been looking and searching for companies that can go in every 50 states.
Once again, the company is Singlepoint Incorporated, stock symbols SING. Great progress, Greg. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Go Sing.